Okay, now I guess we're live. Go ahead.
All right. Welcome, everyone, to a very special edition of the DYP podcast. This is an episode that's a long time coming, but even today was a long time coming and almost didn't happen. But this is episode 50. I'm your host, Andrew Hall. Joining me on the other end of the line, as always, Mr. Daniel Palmer, DPalm66 on Twitter. Palmer, what's going on, man?
For the record, I think this is officially a DYP podcast like 43. I'm pretty sure I missed 7 or so. So in my mind, they don't count. So I'll see you all back here in 7 episodes to go nuts. No, but seriously, the noise you hear in the background is me making it right in my office with $1 bills all by myself. Very lonely. But no, it's exciting. I'm glad you and I got to be on for the 50. And I'm even more glad that I'm done working for the weekend. I'm about to go spend some time at the beach.
Man, that's right. So you were going down to hang out. We were going to try to do a podcast on Saturday with you from Hangout, which could be really, really interesting.
For what it's worth, you've been butchering my ideas for names by dicking me over when the podcast gets posted by not using the word in the roundup, which I've been asking you to do. So it might just, because of what's happening Saturday, we may have to find a permanent name for it in the weekly hangover.
Yes. That works.
It's got sports. It's the kind of humor we like to tell.
It makes sense.
I got to debut the name on the episode where Spurrier would say we hung half 100 on him, which I'm pretty happy about. and I got to work that Spurrier quote in there pretty ham-fistedly, so it's a pretty good day for me so far. Not gonna lie.
This is shaping up to be the best 50th podcast we've ever had.
Yes.
Already.
With a bullet.
So let's talk a little bit. Let's jump in here. Let's just jump into some sports, some hot takes, if you will.
Hot takes.
And I'm just going to rocket off some of these topics. We had a really short pre-production meeting before we started recording this, and Chad's obviously not on here, so this podcast is going to be really good. But let's talk a little bit about the NFL draft micro level. And let's just talk Aaron Murray to the Chiefs. We speculated about where he might go on Saturday's Hangover podcast, but how do you feel about his fit with the Chiefs?
I think it's a great fit. I think the fact that, and you and I were texting you when it was happening, but I think the fact that it's been such an awkward situation with Alex Smith and the contract negotiations, and the fact that you have a second rounder to get him, and Andy Reid's done very well at developing quarterbacks. Look at John Skelton. When he left Philly, he kind of fell apart in Arizona. He had one of the greatest Michael Vick years that first season in Philadelphia, and you're talking about a player who fits in the West Coast offense as far as making smart reads, making decisive reads, fitting the ball in small windows as used to in the SEC. Of course, they get smaller in the NFL. I'm not comparing the two. I'm just saying that the skill set's there for Aaron Murray to really make a statement there. And I think that you look at the rest of the quarterback depth chart, he could be making a splash. If not starting, he could definitely be in the chief clipboard holder position for the season.
The chief clipboard holder for the Chiefs. I like it. I think it's also a good fit for – I mean, I don't have anything to add other than all the reasons you just said. But if I really want to take things out of context, and I'll play the role of Chad Floyd and say that you just compared Aaron Murray to Michael Vick.
I did.
So I'm hoping that he's the new Vick. He is wearing jersey number 7.
Is he? They announced that?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, he's always modeled his game after Vick, from what I can tell. So,
He's a little forced.
So we got that. Another pick that was a little bit interesting to me was actually Arthur Lynch, who went a few picks before Aaron Murray, but went to the Dolphins. Looking at what the Dolphins do, I don't know that Lynch is quite as good of a fit. They like to run these kind of hybrid H-back tight ends out there like they did last year with Clay, and Lynch really is not that kind of athlete. I mean, he's more traditional tight end. How do you feel about him with the Dolphins?
I think, like you said, they do a lot of H-back stuff. I think that maybe he's got the athleticism to do it. Let's not sit here and say Arthur Lynch couldn't do what they're asking. I think he's a better fit in a traditional offense. But, I mean, clearly they saw something they liked. The Dolphins saw a need. They filled that need. That 5th, 6th round pick is where you really go for the depth picks. You look at the production of the tight end slot last year, wasn't too great. We both know Arthur Lynch, great pass catcher, above average run blocker. They brought in some good pieces in the running game this year.
Yeah.
We'll have to see how it fits. I think with Mike Wallace on the outside, I think a weapon in the middle of the field could say something. I'm not here to discount the tight ends for the Dolphins. We don't know what they could do in traditional offense based on what happened last year. I think there's so many questions on that offensive side of the ball for Miami that I can't, with any sort of certainty, tell you how he's going to fit in with that offense. Andrew Hall has left. So what we're going to do, we're not going to freak out. We're not going to lose our minds. We're going to re-invite him. And I'm going to wax philosophic on other draft things that I thought were funny or amusing. AJ McCarron, the news is coming out that he allegedly fell down draft boards because he, and I quote, rubbed teams the wrong way. You've heard other Alabama players and guys who've known him for a while say that, oh, that's just his competitiveness being skewed as cockiness, that he's being misread as a player. I don't care. I think it's hilarious. I think Chestat, which is, I mean, just my docket name for him, is going to be a decent NFL backup. Look at Greg McElroy. He's a guy who was never really the focal point of those Alabama teams, but maybe he can get it done. We haven't really seen him have to throw his way out of the game, have to keep his team in the game just by throwing. And Andrew's sending me vulgar text messages with our disappointment with Google. So I think we're going to stop this and try to start over again. Let's see.